What's up, y'all? It's Hajime Academia here to talk to you a little bit about this new manga that I've been reading. It's called Dai Dark. That's D-A-I Dark, not D-I-E. Although it'd be easy to mistake it because this is a horror manga filled with blood and guts and death all over the place. It's written by Q Hayashida, who y'all might know from the great series Dorohedoro. Love that series. If you haven't checked that one out, that's another one you should check out. Maybe I'll talk about that one sometime. So Q's work is always very unique. She's got this great art style and terrific power structure that she sets up. It's very unique. That's something I really like about her. So let me get into what happens in the first couple chapters. Now, there are only 4 chapters in this manga so far, so there's not too much to talk about. But I want to tell you why it's so exciting and why y'all should be reading it. It begins in outer space with a spaceship. Already cool. It's sci-fi. It's future. I like that kind of stuff. And you've got this bloody man who's drifting through space, and he gets picked up by the spaceship. Now, the bloody man's name is Zaha Senko. He's going to be our main character, so I'll probably refer to him as Senko. The captain notices that Senko has this package on his back. It's sort of this backpack-looking thing, but looks like it's made out of a skeleton. And the captain is excited. He knows what this is. He picks it up and he says, "This is the package of darkness." And that's only held by one man in the universe, Zaha Senko. And it is said, whoever can collect Zaha Senko's bones will be granted one wish. So obviously the captain's really excited. He's found Zaha Senko and he's going to get his greatest desire. He's going to get to make a wish. But he doesn't immediately do this. He ties up Senko, leaves him, and takes the package to his room and goes to sleep. I guess he plans on killing Senko and taking his bones in the morning. But it turns out this is a bad idea because that package that's shaped like a skeleton is in fact a skeleton and it's alive. The skeleton reaches out its arms and legs and stands up, and the skeleton says, I guess it's time to save Senko. So the skeleton, we're going to find out later, its name is Avakian. He is sort of Senko's guardian or partner. He's part of Senko's powers, but we're not really sure how he came to be partnered up with Senko. And I'll get more into Senko's powers pretty soon. So Avakian goes, he finds Senko, and he rescues him. And it's at this point when the alarms on the ship start going off, and the captain wakes up and realizes Senko has been freed. So the captain grabs his weapons and heads out to kill Senko. Now, this is where we learn of Senko's power, sort of. So him and Avakian, Senko and Avakian are in this cold room, and Senko's shivering. He's really cold, and Avakian tells him, well, why don't you just put on your skin of darkness? So these black hands start going around Senko's body, and they form into this big black cloak around him, and he also has this white mask hood on, and he looks like death. He looks scary. Wouldn't mess with this guy. If I saw him at the end of the alley, I would be running. And this is something I love about Q's work. She'll take these fresh-faced, baby-faced characters. Senko's only 14 years old, so he looks like this really nice, clean-cut character. But then when he puts on his flesh of darkness, he just turns into death and horrifying, serial killer-looking thing. And that's something Q likes to do with a lot of her characters. So the captain ends up getting to where Senko is, and he's brought his whole crew with him. And Senko, this is where we get to see how he fights. So Senko says, Avakian, give it to me. And Avakian's mouth opens, and this bone comes out. Senko grabs a hold of the bone, pulls it out, and he says, flesh of darkness, come to this. And his flesh of darkness forms up around the end of the bone, and it forms into this axe. Really cool already. And then he uses this axe to then stab the captain in the face. And what happens next is awesome. The captain's skin just melts off, and his guts spew out of his body. And you just see Senko standing there holding up just the skeleton of the captain. Senko then proceeds to turn on the rest of the crew, and he takes the rest of them down in the same way, melting all of their flesh off. It's just whenever he touches somebody with this axe, the flesh of darkness, it seems to turn their skin into liquid and their guts into liquid, and all that remains of them is just bones. So we get this great scene of just a corridor full of bones after Senko's fight. Really cool. Really cool stuff. So after Senko has killed everyone on board the ship, he sends out a distress signal, letting someone know that the ship is here. He says, oh, it'd be nice if someone could pick up this ship for whatever reason. And him and Avakian head out to the outside of the ship with this. They still have the trail of bones behind them. They're carrying all of the bones with them. And they spot this black hole out in space, and they leap off the ship towards it. And that is the end of chapter 2. And that is the last we see of present-day Senko, because the next chapter begins with him at 8 years old, sort of a flashback to his time in school. I don't want to get too much into what happens in chapters 3 and chapter 4, make this too long of a video. So I'll just say it's got Senko at 8 years old, and we see that he already has the powers that he has at 14. He has Avakian with him, and he has the Flesh of Darkness. And we also get introduced to a new character, and he's extremely intriguing, this new character. He has powers similar to Senko, but at the same time, they're on a whole nother level, and they're completely different. You'd have to read it to understand what I mean. But I'm excited to see more from that character. He's not exactly evil, and he's not exactly good. And Senko does stab him in the face with this axe, but it does nothing. It doesn't do anything to this guy. So he's a very intriguing character. I can't wait to see more from him. I'm sure he'll show up all the time. Yeah. So, again, y'all should check it out. And I will catch y'all later.